Are you considering a career in freelance web design but you have these common questions? Number one, how do I get started as a freelance web designer? What skills do I need to become successful? Ano yung mga tools and softwares that are essentials? How can I build a strong portfolio? Where and how do I find clients? And lastly is, how am I going to price my services as a freelance web designer? If any of these questions resonate with you, whether you're just starting out, mapa-newbie ka man or beginner, or looking to improve your existing skills, so for example, you are a general virtual assistant and you want to upskill, or isa kang email marketer or a copywriter, a graphic designer, you're in the right place. Welcome sa ating free web design course on how to get started with web design freelancing and get clients. My freelancing and mentoring journey. Here are some of our happy WAP mates. So ayoko naman patagalin. You can pause this part if you want to check isa-isa yung mga testimonials nila, no? So there's more to these. So ito lang yung mga nilagay natin para hindi naman masyadong marami, no? And ayan pa, meron pa pala dito. And we also have yung mga recent clients natin. Was able to close a $2,000 deal. I was able to have a 4,000. Ito is down payment pa lang to. Isang full. Meron ding isa. Ito, Shopify for e-commerce, basic websites, mga informational, hotel website, and marami pang iba. Ayan. Just wanted to say na if I was able to do this, kaya nyo rin, diba? So with the right time, with the right skill, the foundation and stuff. So, hi again, WAPmates. I'm Anthony. I'm a passionate and innovative web designer and mentor with a love of creating impactful digital experiences. So, I'm a former IT specialist with nearly a decade, 10 years po, of experience in the corporate world. Nasa banking industry, financing industry po tayo. And since then, it's just so happens na puro all about IT, related sa computers yung ating naging journey. And I started exploring into the world of online freelancing way back pa noong 2018 before ako fully nag-transition full-time in 2020 during the pandemic. I've been helping businesses in building effective websites para ma-boost nila yung online presence sila, at the same time is maka-attract ng visitors and eventually makapag-increase ng revenue. And we've been helping aspiring and seasoned web design freelancers in turning their passion into a successful career. Let's discuss the webinar or the free web design outline. Number one is you're going to learn the introduction to online freelancing. So swak na swak sa ito if you are a total beginner or newbie into this kind of career or business. Yan. Number two, the importance and use of AI in web design. Ayan. So, updated po tayo. Change is inevitable. So, we have to adapt as much as possible. No? So, napakabilis. And, of course, the foundations and basics of web design. Number four, ayan. So, no-code development. Kahit hindi ka marunong mag-code, wala kang experience, wala kang techie, swak na swak sa itong free web design webinar natin. And last is we're going to discuss, syempre, if we all have these foundations, is importante rin na malaman natin on how to attract and get clients. So, ang number one goal natin is yung comprehensive understanding of freelance web design. So, ready ka na ba? So let's start with the introduction to online freelancing. So ano nga ba ang online freelancing? So it refers to working as a self-employed individual, typically in a remote capacity, and nag-o-offer ka ng mga services to clients or businesses on a project basis. So yung ganitong klase ng work arrangement has become increasingly popular in recent years due to its flexibility and autonomy. Lalo na dito, alam mo naman dito sa Philippines, traffic. And we're going to discuss that later. And itong mga freelancers, no? So we have the freedom para pumili ng aming projects, mag-set ng aming own schedules, and work from anywhere in the world as long as meron kang internet connection and syempre computer. Kung itatanong nyo kung pwede bang cellphone, yes, pwede naman, but I'm not recommending into this kind of creative work and tech. So, magbibigay tayo ng example para mas magkaroon tayo ng deeper understanding, para mas magets natin, 'di ba? So, dito is si Ashton, he is a freelance web designer helping yung mga small businesses na mag-build ng kanilang online presence to attract and engage more customers. And meron siyang na-receive from a local store uh, na nangangailangan daw ng website para ma-showcase nila yung products nila online and yun nga, yung mga customers sila is maka-order online. Syempre sa panahon ngayon, 'di ba? Sino pa bang hindi gumagamit ng internet? So it is kumbaga important susi rin siya sa mga success ng isang business in today's digital world. So, yung ginawa niya is they have this planning and strategy dumaan ng discovery phase. So, yung owner nag-consult sa kanya for him to understand kung ano ba yung requirements, no? Sino ba yung target audience sila, ano ba yung mga desired features ng website. Like ito nga, di ba? Siyempre, kung e-commerce yan, merong online menu and order form, yun yung basic. And next is, nung nagkasundo na sila, that they have this, after this process, nag-submit ng proposal, outlining the scope of work, yung timeline, yung cost, di ba, yung investment. Then, nireview yung proposal ni client and nag-agree to move forward. So, as part of this, nag-send ng upfront payment to get started. And since nagkaroon na ng planning strategy, pwede na siyang dumiretso to wireframing o yung tinatawag na user experience part, no? So this is to create wireframes para mag-focus muna dun sa mga element arrangement, yung mga navigation, acting as blueprints, outlining website structure. So para siyang sa construction, ito yung pinaka-blueprint, di ba? Hindi naman sila basa-basa magbi-build right away nung building, di ba? So we have this kind of blueprint. And after the approval ng blueprint, so dadaan na siya doon sa UI, yung user interface, that we're going to discuss that later. So, na-integrate na yung colors, yung typography, yung mga images, para makapag-create na ng website na nagre-reflect doon sa brand identity at para ma-attract nung client yung kanyang target audience. Next is yung development. Ayan. So, ginawa na yung website and Ashton ensures it is responsive, napaka-importante. And optimized din siya, of course, sa desktop, sa tablet, and mobile devices. Then, ayun, tinesting, nag-launch. So, the website is thoroughly tested, ayan, as said, to ensure yung mga functions nag-work, yung mga bugs, di ba, hindi naman maiwasan yan, na-fix siya, and then it is launched live. So, ganyan yung typical process na, sa web design, no? So we have this question, is online freelancing right for you? So wala namang perfect situation in any aspect, no? So we also have these benefits and challenges. So starting online freelancing, ito is a personal decision with a significant impact on life. So yung appeal niya is nag-i-increase with growing freelance opportunities globally. So let's talk first with yung mga pros or yung mga advantages. So number one is yung setup na work from home to anywhere. Okay? So in my case, I'm more okay to work from home kasi I'm a family man. I have 4 kids dito. So mas kampante ako na nagtatrabaho dito kahit sabihin natin maraming distractions, no? Pero marami rin naman yung iba, yung mga digital nomad, they tend to work anywhere yan. Mas okay sa kanila. So it's a matter of preference. Ay nako, no commute. Alam niyo naman dito kung gaano na ka-heavy ang traffic sa bansa natin, sa Pinas, no? So I used to live in well, I'm currently residing here in Antipolo City and imagine every day I'm going to work in Makati. Yan. So for almost 10 years kanyang po ang ginagawa natin. And hindi na biro sa yung situation right now when it comes to commute. Yan, flexible hours. Siyempre, 'di ba 'yan? No need to further explain this, hindi ko na pero yun nga yung situation, 'di ba? And earn as if working abroad. So nakita niyo naman kanina yung screenshot ng income 'no. So imagine na hindi mo na kailangan mag-abroad at kumita ng dollars, 'di ba? Alam niyo naman ang forex ngayon is yun. Networking opportunities, ayan. So, 'yan mas marami tayong nagiging friends and, of course, the word itself, the opportunity. Skill expansion. So, dito for me mas maggo-grow ka kasi nga, tawag dito, iba yung ano, iba yung situation dito, eh. You have to do it on your own lalo kung nag-uumpisa ka pa lang. Marami, hindi lang, sa hard skill pati yung sa personal development and stuff, okay? So again, ayan. So you can pause this and you can take a quick look. Siyempre, hindi naman magiging perfect 'to ng walang cons, 'di ba? So, ang cons is hindi maiiwasan 'to yung unstructured work-life balance. So, ang solution dito is you should establish a regular work schedule at makapag-set ka ng boundaries between work and personal life. Mas prone tayo sa distractions, ha? So, consider using productivity tools to manage time effectively. Unpredictable income. So, ito na yung sinasabi na hindi raw stable ang freelancing, di ba? Pero ako, naniniwala naman ako na it is the freelancer who is not stable enough, 'di ba? So ang solution dito is as you go along, magkaroon ka ng experiences, is you should diversify your client base. Mag-establish ka ng mga long-term contracts, mag-maintain ka ng financial buffer, wag gastos dito, gastos doon for periods of low income. So tipid pa rin, 'di ba? Kailangan maging wise pa rin tayo when it comes to finances. So you can also consider offering yung mga retainer agreements with client, yung kunyari mga maintenance ng websites, ayan. Risk of isolation. So, actually mas pabor pa nga sa mga introvert. Well, iba-iba naman tayo ng it's a matter of preference talaga, 'no? So, ang solution dito is kaya nga tayo may mga communities like eto, 'di ba, si WAP and, kung mapapansin niyo may mga iba naman ng mga co-working spaces to network, to collaborate, 'di ba, 'pag may mga events at yung mga parang mga simpleng coffee shop ay eto nga, yung mga co-working spaces and other professionals, 'no? So you can schedule regular social activities outside of work. Lack of mentorship, ayan. So ang solution dito is seek out mentorship from experienced freelancers or industry professionals like me. Ayan, pero marami pang choices diyan, don't worry. So you can attend workshops, mga conferences, mga online courses for skill development and sabihin na natin pati yung personal development and guidance. Business responsibilities. Ayan, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. So, you can use tools and software to streamline business such as yung mga sa accounting, sa project management, client communication. Madami yan. Actually, maraming mga free na tools to start as a solopreneur. So, later on, you can consider hiring freelancers for specific tasks pag magle-leverage ka na or mag-i-scale. So, freelancing offers many benefits. So, nasa sa'yo na yun eh. So, however, it also comes with challenges. Ang importante dito is maintindihan natin, mabalance natin yung mga pros and cons. So, ito yung susi eh, yung pag-balance para to thrive to be successful as an online freelancer. So, ang freelancing versus home base, nasa title lang nga, no? So, totally magkaiba sila. Though may similarities. Now, this could be the ideal moment to transition to a flexible digital nomad lifestyle kasi nga syempre it has highlighted the importance of yung pag-adapt ng business and flexibility for workers. So anong difference nila? So number one is it is often used interchangeably but they can have slightly different meanings. Yan. So, para mas magkaroon tayo ng ano 'no, better understanding 'no. So, yung definition. So, 'pag freelancer ka 'no, sa freelancing, you are working independently on a contract basis. Pag sa home base ka o yung remote work, you are working from home, can be freelance or not. Employment. So sa freelancing, self-employed tayo. Sa home base, can be self-employed or employed ka by a company. So pwede ring hybrid actually. Sa pagdating naman, you are typically working for multiple clients wherein pag sa home base, can work for one or pwede rin namang multiple employers. No? So it's a matter of talaga na kung ano yung pwede. Sa control, ito yung gusto ko 'no, tayo yung nagse-set ng rate natin ng kung ilang hours and we choose clients, okay? At this is disclaimer lang din naman na siyempre malaking factor pa rin yung experience mo. So hindi 'to totally applicable kung ikaw ay beginner, okay? So marketing yourself is a different skill. Pagdating sa home base, you may have set hours and clients assigned by employer. So, fixed pa rin siya. Parang remote work nga. Income, ayan. Ito yung gustong-gusto natin sa income, no? So, you have the potential for higher income based on rates. Pagdating naman sa home base, well, may mga kumikita rin na or remote worker. So, it may be fixed or based on employment contract. Variety. So, sa freelancing, you work on the different projects with different clients. Sa home base, you may work on projects for one employer or multiple employers. So, similar yung kanina sa binabanggit natin. And flexibility, again, we are more flexible in setting schedule and workload. And sa home base, so depende sa policy ng employer. And yung common ground, syempre, is it both involve working from home. Imagine. So, both can offer flexibility and work-life balance. So, itong freelancing is independent contract work siya. So, while yung home base or yung remote work is a broader term in including various work arrangements like freelancing. So, I hope yung ganong example, yung mga definition natin mas na-gets na. Leveraging artificial intelligence sa web design. Definition in its role. Meeting the changing needs of digital consumers. So yung simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially sa mga computer systems, no? So AI in web design improves yung user experience by analyzing yung behavior, yung pag-personalize ng content, pag-automate ng tasks, and pag-optimize ng performance. So it focuses on personalization by analyzing yung user data to deliver tailored content and yung mga recommendations. So enhancing or improving yung user engagement and of course yung conversion rates. So let's have some yung mga AI-powered tools. So revolutionize the way websites are created and designed. So itong mga tools nagle-leverage sa AI or yung artificial intelligence to automate yung some of the various aspects of the design process, making it faster, easier, and more efficient for designers to create beautiful websites para sa ating mga clients. So, itong mga images, mga preferences sa pag-create ng custom websites para mas makapag-design ka quickly. So, this is ideal for users without coding skills who want professional-looking websites. Try these yung mga powered tools for websites, no? It's not yet perfect, pero it's getting there. And don't worry, hindi tayo mare-replace as web designers dito. So ito yung mga design assistance tools, no? So it can recommend yung mga color schemes, mga fonts, yes, layouts based on design principles. And they aid or help in creating custom graphics and illustrations efficiently. Pwede rin itong mga content creation tools. So, it uses yung NLP na tinatawag, algorithms to automate content creation for websites, blogs, and marketing materials, saving time and effort for designers and content creators. Ayan. I know, yung iba dito familiar na rin kung ano yung mga binabanggit natin na AI tool na to, no? So, ayan, si OpenAI's chatbot known as si GPT-3 actually ngayon as up to date ni-release na si ChatGPT 4.0. Ayan. So one of the most advanced language models available for free. However, popularity may vary depending on the context and the needs of the users. Alam niyo, Wapmates, napakadami na ng mga very similar sa ChatGPT. And siya yung ginagamit ko actually just to be safe in par with Copilot, no, yung kay Microsoft naman. So, it varies actually sa use niya. Hindi ko masabing okay si ChatGPT, sometimes okay din si Copilot. So, hindi ako totally makakapagbigay talaga ng review about it. It's just based on my experience, no? So, GP3 improves web design user interaction by generating, ito common to. Ginagawa ko to madalas kasi instead of just using the typical dummy text generator, pwede ka nang gumawa, mag-generate ng copy, mas madali, no? Pag-answer ng queries, mag-offer ng recommendations, powering conversation, mga chatbot, ayan, for engaging user experiences. So, dito, just have to remember that use AI as a tool, not a replacement. Okay? This is to improve your work by automating tasks and mas mapabilis siya, ma-improve yung efficiency while still relying on our creativity and problem-solving skills. Foundation pa rin yan. So overall, AI will continue to play an important role in shaping the future of web. Hindi lang sa larangan actually ng web design, no? Sa lahat ng aspects din, making websites more dynamic, personalized, and user-friendly than ever before. And for our next topic, ito yung isa sa pinaka-exciting and most important part because, yun nga, we're talking about the foundations and basics of web design. Let's go! Introduction to web design. The process of creating websites. So yung web page design involves layout, content creation, and graphic design. Although web design and web development are commonly interchanged, technically, so yung web design falls under the broader category ng web development pa rin siya. So yung importance ng web design, no? So by investing a well designed website, a beautiful, professionally made that prioritizes user experience, SEO, and brand image, businesses can attract more visitors, convert them into customers, and syempre, makapag-drive ng revenue growth. Understanding UI and UX. A smooth and enjoyable user experience, no? So, when we talk about user interface UI, so commonly makikita nyo lagi yan, yung term na yan. So, this design contains yung mga visual elements like layout, colors, typography, and interactivity to create attractive, user-friendly interfaces for easy navigation. Again, those are mga layout, mockups, graphics, and stuff. And when it comes to user experience naman, so this is more of enhancing yung interface usability. For example, ito pa, yung loading speed, pag-address ng mga user requirements. So itong tayo as designers, we are aimed to deliver a seamless and effective user experience. So, for example, research, yung pag-wireframe, pag-prototype, yan ang UX. And for you to appreciate it much better. So, ito yung example natin sa isang ketchup. So, if you're going to compare UI and UX para mas magets natin. Ayan. And we do have another example sa laruan ng bata, ng baby. So, that's how important UX design is. Hindi lang laging UI. So in conclusion, UI and UX are vital or very important in web design. So collaborating to improve user experience by making navigation and interaction smoother. Websites, landing pages, and funnels explain. Ayan, so i-explain natin yung mga differences nila. So this is a common question lalo sa mga newbies na nalilito about their differences. So let's start with the website. Ayan. So sa isang website, this one provides a comprehensive information about the brand and offer. So we do have an example here, isang portfolio website for a digital agency. So basically, showcase natin yung ating unique selling proposition, pero halos dun siya umiikot talaga sa brand and offer. Kung ano man yung services niya, kung may mga products man siya. Next one is we have another example of an e-commerce website, no, for an online store. So this is a website, yeah. So wherein you can shop or you can further read more about the products of that website. Next is we have yung landing page. So ang goal ng isang landing page is to capture visitor information at i-encourage siya sa isang specific na action. So typically, this is a one-pager website, no? So technically, website pa din siya. It's just a one page. So we have an example here, yung sign up page for a webinar. So for sure, may mga nakikita kayo before na mga sign up page, no? And kikita niyo yung date, ayan. Tapos isa lang yung call to action niya. And yan nga, they want to encourage you to sign up. Yan. So another example is meron din tayong lead magnet page offering a free ebook download. So yeah, for sure nakikita like if you are interested into something kung anumang niche yan, kung anumang specialization. So this is also one of the common examples ng isang landing page. And next is we do have the funnel. So sa funnel, ang goal nito is to guide the visitors through a specific journey from awareness to conversion. As you can see, we have an example of a lead magnet funnel. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, yung mga users, so for example, ikaw yan, and may nakita ka na isang opt-in page, magsa-sign up ka, kung ano man yun. Parang ano kasi sa funnel, di ba, yung landing page actually is part of a funnel pages, no? So nakita natin for example yung sign up page, you got interested, nag-confirm, napunta ka sa thank you page, no? Meron ka na-receive na email notification for the confirmation, tapos dinownload mo yung content, then furthermore, makaka-receive ka ng mga maraming emails, yung mga email nurturing campaigns yan. And we do have another example here, a simple sales funnel. So sa sales page, so for example, meron ka nakitang isang course, 'di ba? You are very interested with it. In-add to cart mo na siya, complete mo yung order, yung checkout, tapos nag-confirm yan, yung so confirmation, then you got the notification from your email. So nakikita nyo yung flow. You are guiding the visitors, kung yung customers mo, yung clients mo to a specific goal. So, very similar sa landing page. Kaya sa landing page kasi isa lang talaga halos, no? So, sabihin natin sa funnel, meron siyang mga iba't ibang landing pages. Depende kung anong type of campaign siya. Kung ano man yung goal niya. So, I hope mas nagigets niyo yung part na yun, no? So, si website is like, it's more of electronic brochure. Yan. Again, si website, they do have multiple pages, mas detailed yung content niya. Si landing page, single page lang siya again, and focus content siya. Funnel, series of pages, so it can be landing pages. No? So technically, website pa rin siya again, and each with a specific purpose, kung ano mang klaseng landing page yan. And sa website, it's more of brand information and credibility. Landing page, conversion, and lead generation if you want to get more leads, di ba, para sa iyong business. And sa funnel, if you want to further lead nurturing para mas ma-build up mo yung relationship mo with your leads, with your customers, and conversion. No? Eventually, ma-convert mo sila into paying customers. Yan. So hopefully mas na-gets natin kasi this is a common talaga na challenge na nakakalito. Kahit ako before nung una nalilito rin ako sa definition. So I hope mas na-gets na natin to. So it's really the focus or yung goal. Yon. So next is kanina na-define na-define na natin yung mga differences. Now it's time for web design versus web development naman. Understanding the key differences. So yung web design and web development, they are closely connected yet separate siya na fields na both nagko-contribute significantly to the creation of websites. And most likely you're going to be the web designer and web developer pag nagsisimula ka pa lang. So web design, nagpo-focus siya sa visual and user-facing aspects of a website. Kanina explain natin, di ba, may UI, UX tayo. So this one involves designing sa layout, sa colors, typography, and yung overall look and feel of the site, yung user experience. So, yung mga web designers use tools like yung Photoshop, pero to be honest, actually ang Photoshop, this is more of photo manipulation eh. So, it's a better example na si Sketch. Si Sketch naman kasi, this is proprietary sa Mac OS X, no? And this is would be the recommended talaga na ginagamit for the UI UX tool, si Figma, to create mockups and prototypes of the website's design. So, etong mga to, they are responsible for creating a user-friendly and visually appealing interface that enhances the user experience. Wherein, pagdating naman sa web development, on the other hand, no, so this one deals with the technical implementation of the website. So, yung mga web developers, they are responsible, kami yung responsible for turning the design into a functional website. Pero wag kayo masyadong ma-intimidate. Ang WAP is we are more into no-code development. So, ini-explain lang muna natin yung basics. So, ito, they use languages like yung sa HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build the structure, layout, and interactivity of the site. So, for sure, if most of you, you are already familiar with the terms, no? Kasi ini-include na to sa curriculum eh, sa mga schools. So, yung web developers also work with frameworks like libraries like ito, sila React, sila Angular, ayan, para mas streamline yung development process and makapag-add ng mga advanced features to the site. No? So si web design nagfo-focus siya doon sa visuals and user interface aspect of a website, while si development's more on the technical side or technical implementation and functionality. Okay? And lastly, both disciplines are essential for creating a successful website, and they often work close together para ma-achieve kung ano man yung desired result ng isang business. Bakit nga ba, 'di ba? Why they need a website in the first place? Ayan, so kanina na-define na natin yung differences nila yung sa web design, development, websites, landing pages, funnels. Now ngayon yung process naman, and napaka-importante nito. And you just need to know the basics kasi nga as you go along, mare-refine naman yung approach natin eh. So bigyan ko kayo ulit ng run through. Kanina in-explain ko na to actually, pero maganda na malaman nyo pa rin ulit. So, madalas nag-i-start to sa planning and strategy, no? So, let's say, the discovery phase. So, first things first is, ano nga bang, lalo pag ang website is bago, no? Or sa revamp. Well, dito, mas applicable to sa bago. So, ano nga ba yung goal? Sino nga ba yung target audience niya? And why you need a website in the first place, no? So, we need to fill the gaps on those parts kasi we need to understand ano nga ba yung challenges, or does the client need a website agad? Kasi sometimes, lalo pag mga startups, syempre alam naman natin, one of the most practical ways talaga is to have a social media page muna, no? Ayun, so going back, ano nga ba yung problem na sinosolve natin with the website? Ayan. So next is, once those are done, so nasagot natin yung mga questions and answers na we already have answers, no? So now it's time to have the proposal, and ito yung payment. So proposal muna syempre, or yung strategy document na tinatawag natin. So this is one of submitting a detailed project proposal, so finalizing the contract, yung mga payment terms, and yung pag-receive ng initial payment. So ito yung mga key steps para maging successful ang isang collaboration. So if along the way you already have the experience, so ang tip ko lang naman talaga is to always have an upfront payment. Ayan. And next is yung sa wireframe user experience, yung i-explain natin kanina. So this is a solid foundation para sa website user experience para ma-ensure na it meets the needs of both the client and the end users. So typically ano lang 'to, black and white siya, low fidelity, ayan. Yung structure lang yung page, yung layout, kung ano man yung mga pages na ilalagay 'no, yung typical yan, home, about, services, contact us, 'di ba? Tas meron pa yung mga privacy policy, terms and conditions, yan, mga ano naman yan, typical naman yan, eh. And you want to have to finalize the layout first. Pati content pala. And once those are done, so now it's time to do the design, the user interface. So ito yung mga visual elements para ma-match yung brand ni client sa goals, ma-incorporate yung colors, typography, mga images, kung illustrations man yan or mga photography, no, from wireframes and yung mga user concepts. Then once done with the design, ito na yung no-code development natin. Ayan. So this one simplifies the development process. So reduces the cost, empowers non-technical to bring their ideas to life. So as of to date, nako, napakarami ng choices, napakalaki na nung changes in terms of yung doing the no-code development. Hindi lang naman sa development yan in terms of websites, even sa mga apps may mga no-code na rin eh. And lastly is yung pag-test, yan. May mga bugs man, yung mga features, mga links, no? So, you have to ensure na yung website is ma-meet ng client's requirements, expectations, at makapag-provide ka ng yung website ng seamless user experience for the visitors. So, pag finalo mo tong systematic approach na to at nag-pay attention ka dun sa mga details, no? So, tayo as web designers, we can create a websites na mamimit natin yung expectation and needs at makapag-engage dun sa kung sino man yung target audience ni client. At syempre, yung continuous learning and adaptation to new technologies, hindi yan, it's inevitable, and trends are essentially to staying relevant in the field of web design. And now, we are here sa web design key components. Let's go! Creating engaging and effective websites. So itong visual design is it encompasses various elements including layout, colors, typography, and images. All of which play an important role sa pag-create ng mga beautiful and user-friendly websites. Design has rules, techniques, and guidelines. So ang secret talaga dito is you just have to follow them. So hindi ka matututo basta-basta. So don't let your tools rule your designs. Again, you won't be able to design well nang basta ka lang gumagamit ng Canva, ng Figma, or any similar design na pang UI UX tool. Ang design is a mental skill. Ito na yung foundation na sinasabi natin pagdating sa creatives, no? So, creativity is not only about the artistic aspect but also about the view. So, it involves looking at things in a different way. So, let's start with the key components nga, yung layout, typography, colors, and images. So, ito na yung parang pinaka-core ng ating free web design course. Let's start with the layout. So alignment and grid system, we have the visual hierarchy and the white space. So meron tayong example here ng isang hero section. No? As you're going to observe, there are some elements, specifically yung sa headline, yung sa text, sa call to action, they are not well aligned. So if we're going to use a ruler, pati yung sa navigation menu, yan. So, hindi siya pantay-pantay, hindi consistent. But, if we're going to do this, yan. So, nakita mo yung difference, diba? So, and we're going to use a ruler again to double check. So, ang layo. So, ang logic ito, it's like differentiating this workstation to this workspace pala. Ayan. Okay. So, ganun yung logic or yung concept niya sa pagdating sa alignment, no? So, yung alignment, just a simple alignment can make something look design. On the other hand, misalignment will make it look bad. So, simple as that. So, very basic pero napakalaking factor niya sa design. Next is yung grid. So etong grid, this is the design organization para ma-achieve natin yung consistency in spacing, alignment, and visual hierarchy by arranging yung visual elements and typography. So kung mapapansin mo yun yung pink, 'di ba? So yung distance ng mga bawat elements na to is consistent in 20 pixels. Okay? Next is, ang ginagamit ko actually madalas is kasi meron tayong 4-point, meron 8-point. So, this 4-point grid system, this one is a grid framework where element heights are divisible by 4. So, nagke-create siya ng balance and alignment para ma-improve yung visual appeal. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung sa navigation menu, we have a consistent 32 pixels distance dito from headline to tawag dito to subheadline 20 pixels, and we have medyo mas malayo ng konti kasi call to action siya. The buttons is we have 24 pixels. So lahat yan divisible by 4. Next is yung visual hierarchy. So this one organizes the elements by importance age o yung order of importance, no? And yung sa pag-digest ng information kasi nga we can only concentrate or focus on one thing at a time. So kung mapapansin mo dito sa right side, ang pinakamalaki yung mapapansin mo right away is yung hero image. And number 2 yung headline, 3 yung text. Number 4, yung primary call to action button, yung color orange na get in touch now. Then you can see the secondary or it is also called the ghost button, no, yung number 5. So yan yung tawag dito, yung concept ng visual hierarchy. And what white space yan. So one of my favorite talaga na ginagamit, no. So negative space siya or empty space around content on a web page. So one big example ito nga yung sa tawag dito, sa website ng Apple, no? So, this is essential for sa pag-balance ng design, pag-organize ng elements, at ma-enhance or ma-improve natin yung user's visual experience. Yan. Pag sinabing white space, hindi literal na white siya, no? So, negative space siya, okay? So, we're done with those, yung mga basics na yun. Ngayon naman, punta tayo sa typography. So, we have typeface categories, font size and spacing, and yung consistency is key. Yan. So, sa typeface categories, so each typeface has a personality. Oh, 'di ba? So, there are certain classifications that each typeface falls under. So, ito yung common na kasi alam ko may mga bagong update si Google Fonts, pero ito yung common na makikita mo. Si serif, serif, sans serif, we have the slab serif, display, and handwriting. So, dito sa typeface categories, no? So, ito yung overall na makikita nyo in general. So, si serif and si sans serif. And if you're going to notice their difference is yung tail doon sa dulo nung ano. Ayan, no? So, those tails on the letter are called, ito, serif kasi tawag dyan. So, pag sinabi sa yung serif in French, so, sans means without, kaya nga siya sans serif, wala siyang buntot. Ayan. So, basically, yun yung meaning niya. So, bakit siya important? Why important? So, this is as important as choosing the right outfit for the right occasion. So, basically, hindi ka naman magsusuot ng naka-cargo shorts ka or short na shorts sa isang fine dining experience. No? So, parang ganun yung concept niya. So we have another example here. Meron tayong bright fall na typeface. So kung mapapansin nyo, nag-blend siya doon sa Merry Christmas, no, yung sa ambience, yung sa personality niya. So dito, why is the case? Kasi nga yung bright wall, this is a script type, no, yung font with thin letters and medyo may pagka-subtle yung accent lines. So this is very good. So this is an elegant typeface na perfect yan for holiday designs. Pero kasi kung for example, we're going to use a Bodoni typeface, so mas excellent fit siya for this page. So kung tignan natin 'di ba yung mga building, so classic looking typeface. So mas nag-fit siya dito yung serif na font eh. So this one, ang personality niya, it looks serious, strict and fancy yet modern. wherein hindi nag-blend yung personality ng sans serif sa gantong type of image. Yan. So sa font size and spacing, no? So size matters. Okay? So make sure na yung text mo is big enough to read comfortably even on small screens. Too small and people will squint. Letter spacing. So this is a property that increases or decreases the space between characters in a text. So we can set it very wide to produce a panoramic effect. Yan, yung nakikita, tulad ng nakikita nyo dun sa alien na title, no? Or even make it very tight. Yan. Next is yung sa line height. So this is the spacing between the lines of text. So giving more height will make it more readable for the audience. But if it's too close to each other, so medyo magiging problematic yung ating readability, no? So always understand that readability is one of the most priority when it comes to text, no? Like ito, as you can see on the left side, 110% or 1.1 m unit of measurement, medyo hindi siya readable. So we need to adjust it to up to 170%. So font varies, depende talaga siya. So but yung typical kasi like if for headlines, pwede yung from 100% to 1.3 acceptable naman siya. Then 1.3 to 1.7 naman pag sa mga text or mga paragraph. So, website visitors tend to scan text rather than read it. Ayan, sabi ko nga, 'di ba? So, they're just scanning for keywords and mga phrases to find what they are looking for or to decide if kung relevant ba sa kanila yung website na yon. So, hindi naman totally binubusisi ng mga ating site visitors yung mga text sa website. Nag-i-scan lang talaga yan. Consistency is key. So sa pagpili ng typeface for your projects, there is one important rule to remember. So first, for each project, dapat as much as possible, no, use no more than two typefaces. Second is make sure they are different o mataas yung contrast nila to each other, yung headline and paragraph or yung text. Bakit? Kasi basically ito yung sagot, no? Because using too many fonts is overwhelming. So malaking part ang user experience dito. Sabi nga natin, the simpler, the better. Okay? Hindi, you don't have to overdo things. And so naglagay tayo ng mga best typography tools as of to date na pwede niyong simulan, mga resources. So you can go to ito pinaka-basic, kahit nga yung mga experience ito pa rin yung preferred, no? Lalo pag sa Google Fonts. So ito ay nag-o-offer ng library of free and open source font families, and recommended ko lagi ito lalo kung nag-i-start ka pa lang. Font Pair, yan, simple tool that helps you pair Google Fonts together. Font Ninja, and ginagamit natin to if you want to identify kung ano yung font na ginamit within that website. FontJoy, ayan, so this is an AI tool that helps you create a font combination with a pleasing contrast. So this is very similar to Font Pair. So you just have to try, test, and see it for yourself. Para yun lang talaga yung yung one of the best ways para mas ma-appreciate niyo siya. So if you use one font for your headings, use the same one throughout. So consistency makes your website looks professional. So by carefully selecting and implementing typography, designers can enhance or improve yung readability, establish yung hierarchy or yung contrast, at syempre, ma-convey yung brand's personality. Ayan, so we are here now sa colors. So we have the color psychology, color schemes, and yung accessibility and color contrast. Colors can make or break any design. So we are attracted to the colors that we like and quite turn off away by those that we don't. So be it web design or other products, no? 'Di ba, like sa mga bags, sa clothing, sa food, even sa mga gadget, 'di ba? So we might see the best design product, but if we don't like the color, hindi natin siya bibilhin. So importante 'yan. For example, if you have this, 'di ba, may mga preferred tayong may mga kanya-kanya tayong preference when it comes to colors. Like hindi mo siya bibilhin kung wala kang makita na pink, 'di ba, na black, na blue, 'yan. So we also have this yung color psychology. So understanding color psychology is essential in web design, or let's say it's very important since colors evoke particular emotions and association in users. As you can see, yan, for example, sa red, it invokes yung energy, passion, intensity. Sa blue, calmness, trust, reliability, and so forth. Unlike any other creative work, so yung colors naman can't really be owned by anyone. Wala nagmamay-ari ng blue, ng white, ng black, ng green. So designers borrow colors from each other all the time. So ano lang yan, wala naman ng original kumbaga. So we have this yung color schemes. So choosing the right color scheme is important in web design para ma-improve natin yung visual appeal and pati na rin yung consistency, no. So typically ito yung makikita mo yung monochromatic, analogous, and complementary. So we also have this, yung 60-30-10 rule. So ano to? So this one offers a specific framework na ito, madalas ko rin ginagamit to, for applying those colors in terms of yung proportion. So this will help na ma-harmonize yung color scheme at makagawa ka ng mas medyo balanse in terms of dun sa interface design. So as you can see, meron tayong dark green dito, which is our primary, which composed the 60% and yung background. Then the white, secondary, 30% siya. Then accent, ito yung mga madalas na ginagamit sa call to action buttons, no? So 60-30-10%. Choosing colors. Madalas hindi tayo yung pumipili ng colors for the projects, lalo kung established na yung business, like they just need a website, like for example, meron na silang established na branding, meron na silang social media. So ifa-follow mo na lang 'yun, no? So because the business owner already has a brand. So, eto, in some cases, if a business is a startup and wala pa siyang established na brand guidelines, so hindi rin naman siya common kung tutuusin. So, yung pagpili ng colors should align with the business goals, target audience, and desired mood or message of the website. So, we need to emphasize the importance of creating a consistent and visually appealing color scheme. So, even if the business is in the early stages of developing its brand identity. Ito naman tayo sa accessibility and color contrast. So, madalas na overlook din to lalo pag sa mga beginners. So, designing websites that are accessible to all users, including those with yung mga visual impairments, this is one is most important talaga. So to guarantee that text is legible against background colors, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, yung WCAG, nagsasuggest na siya ng color contrast recommendations. So tapos pwede mo rin pag pinuntahan mo tong colors.co, yung may contrast checker sila. So pwede mo na rin siyang i-enhance pag siya na yung mag-a-adjust, no. So to ensure inclusivity and comply doon sa accessibility standards, so designers need to pay attention to color contrast ratios while designing websites. Like meron ako isang case sa isang client before. Well, na-establish na yung branding nila. Pero kasi ako, as a web design expert, talagang inoblige ko sila na in-educate ko rin naman yung client, no, that we need to follow the accessibility kasi like yung color na napili nila masyadong matingkad tapos background pa siya hindi mabasa. So I showed this to my client, no, and made them realize na mas maganda mag-adjust tayo kasi para na rin sa ating site visitors. Yan, so yan may mga resources tayo, no, so sa mga bawat para at least may mga baon din kayo after you watch this free web design or webinar course. Free web design course o itong yung free webinar natin. So again, meron tayong coolers.co. So hindi lang siya actually contrast checker. You can also explore yung mga color palettes, no? Na yung iba naman ginawa ng mga other users. For the sake of inspiration or reference. Yan. Ito yung kanina pinakita ko na to, so you don't need to explain the color contrast checker ng coolers. We also have ito yung color mine, ginagamit ko din minsan. And again, pwede mo siyang i-explore, i-experiment together. And actually marami naman talaga mga resources out there. So it's really up to you, but I'm just giving you a head start, no. So this one generates color palette using AI again, based on the most popular combinations. Again, try nyo lang. And now, we are here naman sa images. So we have image selection and quality, where to find images, optimization, and performance. So itong image, this is a major ingredient to making beautiful designs. So this is something na you'll be dealing with a lot as a web designer. Malaking factor siya actually. They can greatly impact a website's aesthetics, engagement, and user experience. The beauty of well-chosen photo. So with the right photo and the well-placed typography, so you can really achieve yung talagang stunning results, beautiful website, yung talagang aesthetic kung ating tawagin, no? So dito, pag pumipili tayo ng image, one of the number one rule talaga dito is you should always think about your audience nung website, yung target audience nung target site visitors nung sa client, sa business ni client, no? So, use images that connect with the people you want to reach. So, for example, if you're a food blogger, syempre should include yummy food photos, di ba? Yeah, for example, yan. And yung pagpili naman dun sa selection and quality, so designers need to select high quality as much as possible, relevant photos that align with the website's purpose and audience. Tulad na ina-explain natin kanina. This includes considering factors such as yung sa resolution, ayan, image dimensions, yung file format, para at least pa-ensure natin that the image or the website itself is fast sa pagdating sa pagload, no, without compromising yung image quality. So medyo tricky yung part na to, and siguro explain natin ng konti further. Uh, Pero bago yon, syempre, where to find images. So, finding the right images for your website can be a creative and enjoyable process. Actually, ito, isa to sa pinakamatagal na proseso, no, yung paghahanap ng mga images, lalo kung sa'yo manggagaling. So, we have popular free options for stock photos and sila Unsplash, Pexels, and Pixabay. It is also essential to secure properly licensing or permission for images used to avoid copyright issues. So makikita naman kung meron doon sa sa website na 'yon. So we do have ito rin, parang bibigyan ko na kayo ng head start. Mga stock photos pa, Splash, Pexels, Pixabay, so and so forth. May free pick pa, Adobe Stock. Yan, meron din tayo siyempreng one of the best free AI image generators, no? So, if you are using Windows, ito yung default, yung image creator from Microsoft Designer. So, hindi ko lang sure if this works doon sa mga older versions na kasi. But if you're using Windows 11, this should not be a problem. This is in par with Copilot. Yan. So, this is powered by DAL. I'm not sure the pronunciation. So this is considered the best overall AI image generator for its high quality results, and ease of access. Effects by Google naman, sa Google naman siya. So this is recommended naman, actually lahat naman nare-recommend, no? Sino bang syempre bakit mo naman ida-downsell yung mo. But in my experience yan, so it's a good head start sa mga free, no? And if you want more flexibility, pwede nyong i-explore sa Playground AI. So this is also a free-to-use online AI image creator. So if you want to create art, social media posts, mga presentation, posters, videos, logos, and more. Yan sila Canva, actually meron sila Figma, meron na rin paunti-unti sa may mga plugins na rin. So but for now, you can just focus on this para mabigyan kayo ng head start to explore yung mga free AI image generators. Optimization and performance. Ayan. So, web designers optimize images for web use by compressing images. Yan, yung na-mention natin kanina. Hanggat maaari, dapat hindi masacrifice yung quality. Kaya again, medyo tricky siya sa umpisa. Using responsive image techniques and employing lazy loading. Yan. Nasa option na yan. And we're going to discuss yung mga common image formats, no? So we have JPEG. This is very familiar to you all throughout, no? So ang JPEG, this is more ideal for mga photography, mga realistic images kasi nga this one can handle a wide range of colors. Using ito yung lossy compression. So mas common to sa photography again, which reduces file size pero can affect quality if compressed too much. So doon lang tayo mag-iingat. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na PNG, common din 'to. So offers lossless compression, meaning it preserves image quality even after compression. So, okay pa rin siya. So, this is more suited or perfect for images na nagre-require ng transparency, yung mga logos, yung mga graphics. And ito yung GIF, yung GIF. Ito yung 'di ba yung mga animated pictures 'no. Ayan, again, simple animations and mga low color images. It supports transparency like PNG pero limited siya sa 256 colors lang. Kaya nga medyo hindi siya ideal talaga sa mga detailed images. WebP, ito. This is one of the most important format as of today. So itong WebP, this is a modern format that provides high quality images with smaller file sizes para siyang JPEG and PNG na pinag-combine. No? So it supports both lossy and lossless compression and can handle transparency. So ito, SVG, this is common sa mga icons. So a vector format that's great for logos, icons, illustration, mga maliliit lang. So unlike raster formats, si SVGs daw are scalable to any size without losing quality. Making them ideal for responsive design. Again, if I'm going to recommend, pinaka-common talaga si WebP. I would recommend na i-convert nyo to WebP, and pag sa mga icons, logos, SVG pa rin. Optimize images, improve site performance, enhance or improve user experience, and syempre malaki rin part yung SEO dito para mas i-prioritize nila search engine like sila Bing, sila Google, di ba? Choosing the right design tool. Choosing the right web design software or tool is very important as it can greatly impact your work regardless of your skill level. So we're going to discuss some of yung mga popular yung mga popular na design software, no. So number 1, Figma. Ito yung parang ito yung magiging pinaka main weapon of choice natin when it comes to UI UX design tool. So this cloud-based design tool has been gaining fast popularity due to its collaborative features and accessibility. So very suitable for both beginners and experts. If may experience ka na using Canva, much better. Mas madali ka makakapag-adapt using Figma. So, any OS, mapa-Windows man, mapa-Linux, mapa-Mac OS X, since this is a cloud-based, so pwede mo siyang gamitin sa browser. No? Pero ako, I still would recommend using the desktop app. This is very flexible and binili na rin siya I'm not sure of last year, binili ng Adobe. No? Kasi, ang competitor talaga niya sa Adobe is tawag dito si Adobe, I forgot the name. So, just let me know na lang. Kasi si Sketch, tapos, yeah, anyway, sige. Yan, si Canva. Ideal for those new to design. So, it offers an easy-to-use interface and a variety of templates for creating graphics. So, if you're going to compare Canva with Figma, yes, they are similar or they are the design tool, but they have they have different purpose, no. So again, sa Figma, it is more for UI UX, like if you want to design yung mga aside from websites, mga applications and in terms of complexity, it is more fit. Wherein si Canva kasi actually parang mas align siya sa mga marketing materials, sa mga presentations. Pero nag-explore na rin, pero for me iba pa rin yung kayang gawin ni Figma over Canva. Like ito nga, Canva, yung presentation na gawa sa Canva, 'di ba? So it's a matter kung ano yung, wala talagang best design tool for this. It's a matter of kung ano yung mas magiging fit para sa requirements mo. So mastering web design basics like ito, layout, typography, color theory, and user experience is very important para makapag-create ka ng well-designed, professional, and user-friendly websites. No-code development. Introduction to no-code website building. So this is a method of building websites without the need for traditional programming or coding. So it allows individuals like you with no coding experience na makapag-create ng functional and visually appealing websites using yung concept ng drag and drop interfaces and yung mga pre-built components. Mostly mas mas common to dun pag team building yung pinag-uusapan, no. Development has gained popularity due to its ease of use and accessibility, allowing users to bring their ideas to life without relying on developers. So we're going to talk about the roots of no-code development, no? So if we're going to trace back to the early 2000 when platforms like WordPress nag-emerge siya, no? Na revolutionize niya the way websites were built and managed. So, nag-introduce din siya nung concept of themes and in nabanggit ko kanina and plugins. So, it allows users to customize their sites with pre-built designs and functionality. These platforms have democratized the process of creating websites, empowering individuals and businesses para makapag-build sila ng kanilang online presence without the need for coding skills. So, mas naging accessible siya para sa lahat. And yung advantage naman tong mga no-code, paggamit ng no-code tools, no? So, one of the primary advantage of this is yung speed at which yung websites can be created. So, without the need to write or understand code, designers can focus on the creative aspects of their projects. So, basically, nagre-result siya ng mas mabilis na turnaround times. Additionally, yung mga no-code tools often come with built-in templates and design elements para mas madali siya to create a professional-looking websites without the need for graphic design skills. So, we do have some examples of popular mga no-code website builders, no? So, several no-code website builders, ito yan, sila Wix, sila Squarespace. So, they are more fit for the business owners to build websites. Mas ano sila, mas templated yung mga tools na yun. Ito namang Webflow, it provides intuitive interfaces. So ito naman mas developer friendly naman siya. Mas aligned siya sa mga ganun. So templates and customization options for users. So marami pa. There are many tools to mention. Ito, Shopify, this is more on the e-commerce side naman. So, teka ha, check natin. Ayan. So, dito, yung mga website builders na to, they provide yung mga drag and drop like what we are mentioning kanina. Yung pag-add ng text, images, mga videos, and other elements. So, users can integrate third-party tools and plugins to enhance site functionality. So pagdating naman doon sa power ng AI, 'no, yung transformative power of AI, so yung pag-revolutionize niya nung landscape of no-code development, mas nag-offer siya ng unparalleled efficiency and innovation. From automating yung mga design process to pag-generate ng code, pag-enhance lalo namang user experiences para sa ating mga site visitors, AI is reshaping how websites and applications are created. So yung pag-embrace natin ng AI, so may concerns 'di ba? So that is a valid question or a statement na AI are taking jobs. So pagdating sa automation and AI technologies, they continue to advance. However, there are ways to address this problem. So why not just focus on the solution? Kasi change is inevitable. AI is inevitable. So upskilling. So we are encouraging you to acquire new skills that complement AI technologies. Halos majority na ng mga softwares ngayon are doing that. Even nga yung mga camera natin, 'di ba? Yung mga filter, AI is doing that. So you can explore ChatGPT, Cirillum ginagamit ko for wireframing, Doric AI, etc. Marami, there are since pandemic, after that maraming mga startups and mga tools, softwares ang nag-boom because of yung sinimula nila ChatGPT, no? So, yung emphasis on creativity and soft skills. So, pwede kang mag-focus doon sa pag-develop ng skills that are uniquely human such as yung creativity, yan, emotional intelligence, yung complex na problem solving which are less likely to be automated. So, eto may human in ano pa rin tayo dito, no. So hindi yan basta-basta magagawa ng AI. And dito, last is yung pag-implement ng AI ethically. So, ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly. So, yung focus natin on augmenting human capabilities rather than replacing them entirely. Okay? So, pag gumagamit tayo, hindi talaga siya totally replacement. Let's treat AI as a guide to help us to have a better workflow or process. By taking these steps, we can harness the potential of AI while also ensuring that it benefits society as a whole rather na ma-displace yung mga human workers, 'di ba? So, just have to remember that AI is not replacing human developers, but acting as powerful assistants. Streamlining yung mga processes and more efficient and innovative web solutions. We're almost down to our last topic ng ating free web design course or free webinar. So I hope so far is you are this is very valuable para mabigyan kayo ng head start on how to get started sa pag-web designing, no? So our topic is how to attract and get clients. Ayan. Why building a portfolio matters. So, bibigyan ko muna kayo ng mga konting details, no? Why it's very important pa rin na may portfolio, 'di ba? So, number one is showcasing your skills and expertise. So, itong portfolio is nag-highlight to ng ating best work, showcase ng ating skills, ng expertise in a visual and tangible way. So rather than just telling yung potential clients mo na what you're capable of, so yung pag showcase mo nito ng iyong skill throughout portfolio with real examples. Pwede rin naman mga concept art kung tutuusin. So the more specific industry or niche, kumbaga yung specialization, no, the better it can help you position yourself as an expert and stand out from the competition. Next is yung pag-build ng credibility and trust. So in the creative industry, trust is everything. Portfolio provides a proof of your capabilities and achievements. A strong portfolio showcases your quality of work, creative process, yung mga past success natin, instilling confidence and building credibility in our brand or skill. Next is yung networking and opportunities, no? So a great portfolio can help you leave a lasting impression on potential clients, makakakolab natin, mga creative agencies, digital marketing agencies, making it a valuable networking tool. You'll never know kung kailan dumarating opportunities. So, having a complete portfolio readily available, kumbaga mas mai-increase niyo yung chances mo of success in landing a job, a project, para yung pag-demonstrate ng dedication and readiness to dive into new challenges. So, anong gagawin mo if I have no experience, I have no portfolio, no? Pwede ka mag-create ng personal projects. So you can begin by working on personal projects or concept art na mag-a-align sa iyong interests and career goals. So these could be yung mga websites, design concepts, or any creative work that showcases your skills. Pwede nyo rin, if you decided to niche down right away, no, pwede kang gumawa ng mga example websites, pwede mo gawa ng sarili mong version. Ayan. So all you have to remember is ang pag-build ng portfolio, this is an ongoing process. So as you gain more experience, may streamline yan and expand your body of work, you can update and refine your portfolio to reflect your growth and expertise. In relation with selling our services as a web design freelancer, it's very important na malaman natin na ano nga ba ang benefits ng isang website sa isang business in the first place, 'di ba? So number one, yung pag-establish ng online or strong online brand identity or presence. So having your own website name makes you more credible, immediately building trust between your brand and audience. Alam nyo, this one, syempre ang pagkakaroon ng website, it requires an investment, di ba? Yung hosting, yung domain. And besides, anyone can create social media pages. It's free di ba? But having your own website, it only means that you are more serious on your business. So dito, this is entirely customizable to suit your brand and business needs. So there are much more options regarding the look, feel, and features. And of course, we want to have more increased potential clients and sales. So the more informative your site is, the more visitors you will get, the higher it ranks across search engines like sila Google, sila Bing, the more likely you are to make sales, 'di ba? Uh, Basic naman siya sa revenue. So next is yung pag-define nung niche, no? So when we say niche, so it's more of a specialization. So specialize in a particular area or industry, market in which you want to focus, no? Yung ating freelance web design services. So finding the sweet spot where your passion and skills aligned with market demand. Hindi naman kasi, 'di ba, syempre we should tawag dito, at first, well, yes, there's nothing wrong to be as a generalist, no? But as you go along a way, napaka-importante na mag-niche down din talaga. So specializing in web design for e-commerce businesses, for example, no, such as online store, design and development, can help build a reputation and attract clients seeking expertise in that area. So, magbigay tayo ng mga examples ng mga list of potential markets for web designers. Yan. So, for example, ito ano to ha, hindi pa siya totally niche down kasi small businesses, medyo broad pa siya, but that's okay. Maganda rin naman siyang panimula. Mga startups, mga entrepreneurs, digital marketing or creative agencies, mga e-commerce, mga online stores, no? Health and wellness, mga bloggers, mga content creators, sa real estate, non-profit organizations, mga restaurants, travel and tourism, and marami pa. Yan. So, all you have to do talaga is do a market research. Optimize ng ating online presence is one of the most important, lalo kung nagsisimula ka pa lang, no? This one, it involves managing and enhancing, improving your online presence para ma-achieve natin kung ano man yung specific goals natin, such as yung pag-attract ng clients, pag-build ng ating personal brand, or pag-showcase ng ating expertise. If you're pro tip, at first, for me, mas okay na i-build muna natin yung personal brand natin rather than you want to portray as a business brand. Kasi typical kasi na concern is like nai-intimidate yung mga ibang prospect, kasi akala malaking company agad. Wherein, pag yung personal brand natin, mas merong connection eh. Ayan. So to succeed as a web design freelancer, regularly updating your online profiles and content is important. An optimized online presence can boost your visibility and credibility in the competitive industry. Leveraging freelance platforms and social media. So there's more to Upwork, online jobs, mga etc. So there are many ways for a freelance web designer to connect with your potential client and find work. The very first and obvious options nga ito, sila Upwork, online jobs, etc. So, dito, yan, meron pa tayong mga freelancer, si Fiverr, 99 Designs, Dribble, Behance, wherein hindi natin aakalain na marami rin sa social media. Kung sa Facebook siya, madalas mga nasa Facebook groups, LinkedIn, you can connect with business owners, mga primary decision makers. So, similar sa Facebook kasi ang approach sa Facebook, it is more on the personal side. Ang LinkedIn, the professional. Instagram, there are some, so case-to-case basis talaga siya. Yung pag-build ng ating online presence, no? So, yung pag-content marketing, for example, pagpo-post ng mga valuable na content. So, you want to increase your online presence by regularly yung pag-share ng work mo, engaging with your audience, diba, nagko-comment ka, yan, syempre, di ba, sumasagot ka in a positive way, and participating in industry discussions on social media platforms where your potential clients spends their time. Yan. So, magandang strategy yan, no, pa sa pag-build ng online presence. So, dapat, yung ating branding should be consistent across all online platforms. So, from websites, social media profiles, consistency is the key. So, keep your profiles up to date with informative, engaging content, and yung mga value posting such as case studies, pag-showcase mo ng expertise, and maintain visitor interest. Kahit nga yung mga pag-share sa TikTok, okay din siya kung tutuusin eh, di ba? Kasi you never know, opportunities, bigla-biglang kumakatok yan. So, dapat, might as well, if you can grab the opportunity, do it na. Continuous learning and improvement. So, yung pagiging updated natin with the latest trends, technologies, mga best practice is very important for maintaining competitive edge and pag-deliver ng high quality work to clients. To engage in continuous learning, so dapat lagi tayong curious, mag-explore tayo ng mga bagong tools, techniques, design trends through may mga webinars, workshop, like ito, 'di ba? Mga conferences, online courses, and certifications. Seeking feedback from clients, mga ka-peers mo, mga ka-network, mga mentors can offer valuable insights for improvement. So yung pag-adapt based on constructive criticism is key for successful web designers. Ayan, malapit-lapit na tayo, no? So, down to our last topic, understanding pricing strategies. This is an extensive guide to pricing design projects design para ma-remove natin yung guesswork from setting prices. I just want to say, ito yung one of the most challenging part talaga ng pag-aaral ng freelancing, no? So, let's go. So let's start with the different pricing models. Alamin muna natin bago natin, bago tayo mag-dive deep paunti-unti. So we have this, ito yung pinaka-common kahit sa lahat ng in general, yung hourly rate. So basically, this is charged based on the time spent working. So meron tayong pros and cons dito. Pros is of course it is simple and straightforward. So this is very good for short term or mga small projects. Kaya lang syempre, this can penalize yung efficiency. So you earn less if you work faster. So it's syempre kung medyo naging experience ka na along the way, no? And it doesn't always reflect the value you provide. So mostly talaga ang hourly rate, this is more of sa mga repetitive tasks, admin siguro, ayan, ganyan. Fixed project fee. Ito yung pinaka-common. So, agreed fixed rate regardless of time or work involved. So, ang pros nito is this is predictable for both you and the client, and this one encourage efficiency. Ang pinaka gusto ko dito actually yung flexibility, no? So, the problem is that syempre, there's a big risk of estimating or overestimating the effort. And this one may not account for scope changes. So ako, if you're going to ask me, this is one of the recommended, no, over hourly rate. Meron din tayong tinatawag na retainer pricing. So this is an ongoing agreement for a set amount of work or time. So syempre, this is very good in terms of recurring revenue. So kaya lang syempre, ang problem lang is this one can feel like employment, must charge enough. So this is very common like yung pagme-maintain ng website, like kunyari pag-updates, mga backups, mga content changes, mga images kunyari magpapalit, mag-update, no. Package pricing. So bundle website with ongoing services for a package deal. So ang pros is more revenue over time, kaya lang syempre less upfront payment. Next is eto, ito yung parang for me 'pag medyo mas may experience ka na 'no, mas confident ka na mag-serve sa clients mo, value-based pricing. So this is charged based on the value provided to the client. And this is also a big factor on kung anong klaseng client siya, 'di ba? So this is very good, a high potential for high rates. This is abstract, difficult to sell without showing value. That's why if possible, ito yung puwedeng gawin during discovery call. Pero siyempre, I do not recommend this to beginners. Profit share. So, similar din naman siya sa value base. It's just meron kang certain percentage of revenue generated by the website. No? So, for example, sa mga e-commerce, and kunyari, for every sale, I have 2%. Example lang naman. Okay? So, high earning potential if successful. So, para siyang unlimited revenue din siya. No? Para siyang passive income. Pero syempre, it will totally depends on the sales on the business. So this is risky. Wala kang guaranteed na pay. So if you are a risk taker, this is a very good option. Siyempre, pang may experience din to. So, choosing the right pricing models for beginners. Nabanggit ko naman na kanina, I just want to reiterate. I would recommend if you're just a beginner, so fixed project fee. Kasi it simplifies the pricing and mas nagpa-provide siya ng clarity. So you can start with smaller projects to gain experience. And hourly pricing, so suitable for projects where the scope is not clearly defined or expected to change. Actually, mas common ng hourly pricing sa mga agencies. Ayan. So, you can start with a pricing model that suits your projects and comfort level as a beginner. So, as you gain experience, so you might consider yung kanina, yung ibang pricing models, no, na explore for better profitability and client value alignment. So, start by understanding muna yung mga fundamentals sa to concept para at least as you gain experience along the way, i-refine mo lang yung approach mo, 'di ba? Meron din tayong tinatawag na MER or yung minimum engagement rate para tong happy rate din sa iba, no? So this is your baseline for profitable projects. So this is your financial foundation. The safety net for your pricing strategy. It's the absolute lowest fee you're willing to accept for a project. So we want to ensure yung fair compensation, prevents underpricing, and you want to build a better professionalism. So, kung nagsisimula ka actually, for me lang naman is mas okay din naman siya for beginners pero much better kung medyo mas may na kunyari nakadalawa, tatlong projects ka na, then you can set already your minimum engagement rate. Kasi sa totoo lang, lalo kung 'pag nando'n ka pa lang sa point na you're still building your credibility, your trust, your authority, syempre mahirap din na, alam mo yun, so case-to-case basis. For me, ang importante dito yung mindset natin that we should be willing to start small. Ayan. As a beginner, establishing it should reflect your skills, ma-cover niya yung expenses, and can be modified as you gain experience at ma-expand mo yung portfolio mo. So remember, yung ating MER, it's not just about covering costs, it's also about yung valuing ng work natin appropriately from the start. So, case-to-case basis siya. Pricing factors to consider, and so medyo hopefully nagagets na natin mas dive deep na tayo, no? Pricing factors naman tayo. So, understanding yung pricing factors para sa beginners ulit. So, when setting your prices, it's important to take several factors into account to ensure you're charging appropriately for your work. Number one, yung project scope. So, dapat makonsider natin how extensive the work is. So, syempre, kung isang maliit na website lang siya with a few pages will be priced differently than a large and complex site. So, kung mga typical na may about lang yan, about services, contact us, may terms and condition, privacy policy. And if you're going to compare that na kailangan may blog siya, mas maraming pages yon, or sabihin natin may learning management system, may function ng search and filter, mga ganun eh. So, next is timeline. Gaano mo ba kabilis na kailangan matapos yung project? So, syempre, the more urgent the project is, it offers a higher rate due to yung fast turnaround. So, you also have to weigh in that timeline. No? Next is yung complexity. So, you should assess the difficulty of the design, pati yung mga functions. No? So, para ito, very similar dun sa project scope. So, more detailed and customized work requires more effort and should be priced accordingly. So, if you're going to compare to quote a basic website compared to an e-commerce website, syempre mas mataas ang value ng e-commerce, no? Or sabihin natin course website, blog website, or may mga custom pa yan, customization. Next is yung expected results. So you should consider the value you'll deliver to the client. So medyo related to dun sa value-based, no? If your design will significantly improve their business, so it's very reasonable to charge for the expected impact doon sa kanyang business. So, medyo dito, you should carefully do this kasi hindi naman siyempre lalo kung nagsisimula ka pa lang, weigh-in mo lang masyado yung i-weigh-in mo lang if sa tingin mo, paano nga ba talaga makakatulong ang website sa kanyang business, 'no? So, if it will generate more sales, more leads to the client, well, basically puwede mong i-charge ng mas mataas, 'di ba? So, mas reasonable siya to do that. Understanding these factors will help you set fair and competitive prices para at least ma-ensure natin that you are compensated for your time and effort while meeting yung client expectations. Yon. So, market research. Pricing your services competitively. So, yung market rate research natin, this one involves competitor analysis, no, yung pag-research sa competitors, and following industry polls to gauge with standard rates for various projects. So, this one really depends. No? So, this approach helps in setting prices that are competitive yet fair, 'di ba? Para ma-ensure natin yung services natin are both attractive to clients and siyempre yung sustainability ng ating business as a freelance web designer. So ito yung mga market research examples. Yan. So this is very common competitor analysis, yan, pwede mga online polls, mga surveys, makikita mo rin yan like sa Reddit, yung mga forum websites, no, industry reports. Marami yan, you just have to be uh, resourceful pa sa pag-research, 'di ba? Paggamit ng Google, mga search engine na ano, 'di ba? AI, ayan. Freelance platforms like you can for example visit Upwork. Pwede mong tignan yung mga ano dun yung mga other web designers. So you can compare, no? And client feedback and yung budget analysis. So meron tayong example dito, competitor analysis example. So for example, you are a freelance web designer specializing in e-commerce website, paggawa ng mga online stores, no? So para ma-understand natin yung market rate, you visit the websites of several competitors, mga kapwa web designers who specializes in that field, who offer similar services. So, for example, nakita mo, you find them mostly charge between $2,000 to $5,000 for a basic e-commerce site setup. So, nung meron ka ng information, so nag-decide ka na yung initial rate mo will start at $2,500 para at least competitive ka, 'di ba? But aim to increase your prices as you gain more experience, syempre, and ma-refine mo yung portfolio mo. So all you have to remember this is remember this that the key to successful pricing is balancing yung client expectations with industry standards, and market rate research is an indispensable tool para ma-achieve natin yung balance na yun. So by staying informed and adjusting your rates accordingly, mas may ensure natin that yung services natin will be remain appealing to potential clients while na-maintain natin yung profitability ng ating business. Welcome sa ating bonuses section. Ito yung resources for further learning. Let's continue your journey with these resources. And we're going to start with, of course, design tools. Alam naman natin na si Figma ang ating main weapon of choice pagdating sa pag-web design. So, we're going to have a quick preview on it. And we are here sa website ni Figma, figma.com. So, getting started here is free and very easy, no? So I would recommend like if you have well, of course, I would assume na meron ka ng Google account, no. Continue mo lang, seamless naman yung ano niya, no, yung registration, and marami siyang features, yung mga endless possibilities niya in power with AI tools yan. Super helpful to start. Ayan. So as you can see, ito isa sa pinakagusto ko yung real-time collaboration niya, no. So you can design and define products yan with your team and in one shared design file. So yeah, feel free to visit their website. Well, ako, if you're going to ask me, yeah, sign up ka na, log in ka na kasi one of the fastest thing that you can do to learn is to really to use it, no? If you already have an experience using other tools such as yan, si Canva, yeah, Photoshop, actually hindi ka na masyado mag-a-adjust. Yun naman yung isa sa mga gusto natin ni Figma, no? Hindi siya ganun kahirap gamitin if you already are familiar with other design tools. Ayan, so don't forget to explore yung Figma lalo dun sa community part nila, no? Kasi there are lots of resources, lalo yung mga templates na pwede mong gamitin to start to build your portfolio and other stuff. And now we are here sa Canva. So this is my most one of the most used tools aside from Figma. So ginagamit ko siya for other purpose. So one of the biggest difference nilang dalawa is, well, yes, they are very similar, same ano sila na design tool pero they have different purpose. Yun ang biggest difference nila, no? Well, of course, you can also design websites with Canva kung tatanungin nyo ako, yes. But syempre, hindi siya kasing robust or comprehensive as a UI UX design tool for web designing. So iba pa rin. But it can be done, okay? So si Canva ginagamit ko mostly for social and social media, some presentation like ito, presentation yung ginagamit natin, Canva yan, and other things. Actually, yung pang-scale nga ng image, for example, if I have si client may binigay na pixelated photo, sobrang baba ng quality, with their app, yung AI image scaling, no, it can be enhanced times 2, times 4, up to times 8, no? So, but of course, if you want to use those apps, you should be in Canva Pro or naka-paid plan ka. But to start, you can always use yung Canva free, like Figma. Yan, 'di ba? Ito, another favorite AI tool. Again, what makes use AI tool or the design tool as an ally or assistant, not totally as a replacement. Okay? So, we should leverage tong mga klase ng tools na to nowadays. Ayun, so kung makikita nyo, Relume, this is if you want to design and build faster with AI. Well, actually, with their free plan, super sulit na siya gamitin to start, to explore how you can design UI UX. And so as you can see, you use AI as your design ally nga, no? So if you want to effortlessly generate sitemaps, yung mga wireframes para sa marketing websites in minutes, para at least mas ma-appreciate nyo, explore natin ng konti. So launch ng, so it's easy. Pwede kayo mag ano, pwede, alam ko pwede nyo i-connect yung Google nyo rito. So nag-create na ako ng untitled project. Well, this is empty. So for gawa lang tayong example. So Anthony Meneses is a web design freelancer. Well, dapat actually 1 to 2 sentences, no? Mas concise as possible. Pero for the sake of this quick preview, yan gawin natin. Generate sitemap. Super simple lang yung ginawa, no? Pero tingnan nyo naman yung feedback na ginawa ni AI, no? So, as you can see, nag-create na siya ng mga tawag dito, yung sitemap niya together with About Me. And you can also generate content. Yan, generate nyo. Few minutes lang yan, Wapmates. Yan. So, since nasa sitemap tayo, if we're going to another tab, yung wireframe, yan. So, i-generate niya. Of course, since nasa free plan tayo, nakalock yung ibang pages. No? Yan. Zoom in natin. So, that's how it goes. Yan. So, in just seconds, meron na akong homepage for free. So, that's how very powerful si 100%, ha. So, you can only fully leverage this if you have those basic skills and foundations. All right? ChatGPT, so you can also start for free and connect mo lang si Google mo. As simple as that. Parang kay Figma lang din siya, no? So, siguro tatanungin nyo, how are we going to use ChatGPT in web designing? And again, content, SEO, yung mga layout. Actually, yon malaking bagay siya, no? It's more of copy content ko siya nagagamit as a web designer. And sometimes nagde-debug ako ng mga simple codes, ayan, using ChatGPT. All right? So ito hinide ko lang yung ano for privacy, no? Yung nasa yung sidebar sa left side ng screen. So it's very easy. Ito kasi talaga dapat ang importante when you use. Syempre sino bang hindi nakakaalam ng ChatGPT when you are a freelancer, 'di ba? So para siyang para siyang before Google, 'di ba, yung search engine. But now ChatGPT is the thing, all right? So dito again to be effective, it needs context yan, napaka-importante. You need to feed details as much as possible. For example, no, hi, I'm Anthony and I'm a web design freelancer. Can, di ba, conversational siya. Di ba? Can you help me design and build a website? Where do I start? And bibigyan ko lang ako ng preview lang naman to, no? No, what mate. So, ang trick talaga dito, it's more of reverse engineering the process, no? So, you just need to ask questions as much as possible para at least yun lang talaga yung ano dun yung process dun sa prompt engineering, no? So, yan. So, dapat mag-define tayo ng purpose, ng goal, identify natin yung target audience, ayan. So, one of the trick, antayin lang natin matapos. Yan, dami niyang binigay, no? Kasi, syempre, medyo vague pa yung binigay natin na details. So, syempre, vague din yung ibibigay sa yung answers. So, yan, specific part, nagtatanong na siya. So, um, can you give me an example of those? I don't know where to start. Nag-i-impromptu lang ako dito, mapmates. Ayan, so bini-breakdown niya na. So, ayan. Bibigyan na siya ng example. So, hindi na tayo magtatagal dito kasi this is another skill level na to. Alright? So, just giving you the quick preview. Okay? Si Hostinger naman is a very popular web hosting provider known for its reliability and yung affordability, no. So hindi lang siya actually sa hosting pati sa domain, sa security, sa email, ayan. And meron na rin siya mismo website builder which is also has actually AI website builder siya. All right? So marami itong ino-offer na mga like yung shared hosting, kaya very suitable to sa mga small businesses, even yung mga up to beginners, no? So ito yung nire-recommend ko lagi. Actually, ito yung gamit ng mga WAP Pro mates namin. Ito yung kumbaga parang ito yung perfect plan na tinatawag kumbaga, no? So dito it's more of per annum yung ano niya. So alam ko per year if you're going to, ito kasi yung nare-recommend sa one of the lowest pero ito yung mas popular option, no. So approximately this is around 3,000 per year. Kasama na yun yung hosting, email, domain, etc. Marami yun. Okay? Pero syempre pag nag-renew ka, iba pa yung sa domain, iba yung sa yung email tsaka web hosting halos pareho lang eh. Ayan. So like ito, meron tayong 100 websites, free domain, ito yung kanina sinasabi ko. Meron tayong like if you have an existing website, you can automatically free na yun, imamigrate nila, papatulong ka sa support, no? Free SSL, yung mga backups yan, importante yan. Tapos if you want to build an online store, and si WooCommerce, right? So marami yan, you are free to explore this. I've been with Hostinger paid user for 5 years na yan as of this recording. All right? So feel free to to explore this. Ito lagi yung ito yung laging nare-recommend. Maraming options diyan. You are free to choose whatever you want kung sino yung nag-refer sa no, like sila GoDaddy, sila Namecheap, sila Bluehost, yan yung mga common na maririnig natin no kasi mga nakikita natin sa ads, ayan. If you are not financially ready pa to invest on a web hosting platform sa isang provider, so we have this kind of option na pwede nating i-install si WordPress locally or let's say doon sa computer mo. Alright? And this is the tool that you're going to need, si Local WP. So you can just go to to their website and download, no. So it is compatible to Windows and Mac. Yan. So I would assume yun lang naman yung OS na ginagamit nyo. Meron naman iba dyan, hindi ko na i-explain syempre. No? So this is one of the most user-friendly actually na nagamit ko. Alright? Of course, madali siya gamitin. Ito nga, yung automatic WordPress installation. If you want to have more features, and hindi ko na masyadong i-explain to. And I just wanted to remind you that if we're going to use this sa computer, no? So basically, if hindi mo mapapakita yung website online. Kasi nasa computer mo siya eh. For example, if you have a client or a prospect and you want to show your portfolio, ganito, ganyan, it is not possible, alright? One thing that you can do na nakikita ko is to make screenshot. Alright? So yun lang, just be aware of that feature na itong local WP is just only installed into your computer. As of today, ito yung mga ginagamit kong tools and platforms. So, for graphics and web design, Figma, Canva, hosting and domain, hosting or kasama ng email dyan, it is also possible to have a website builder dito. And ito yung mga, speaking of website builders, ito si WordPress.org, Elementor, ito actually si System.io and Go High Level are all-in-one marketing solution. No, so basically, it's more of creating mga landing pages, basically CRM siya. Ayan, so feel free to explore. Gagawin kong clickable tong if you're able to download this slide. Ayan, so gagawin nating nakiklik yung mga logo no, so para for easier access. This is where the magic happens. So connect, learn, and grow with other fellow freelancers o yung mga WAP-mates natin dito sa ating free Facebook group o yung WAP community natin. So this is free. This is where the magic happens, no? Connect lang kayo, pwede nyo i-share yung progress nyo, pwede kayo magtanong, and makakuha ng real-time support. So ano pang inaantay nyo? Join na. If you want to explore more courses and mga future courses kasi magkakaroon ng konting update, no? And if you want to explore more resources about web design, no code development, landing page design, build funnels, and everything, even yung mga AI tools. So, you can visit yung ating website. It's websiteacademyph.com. So, as of the date ng itong recording, hindi ko pa siya actually na ilo-launch. Alright? So, we're going to have more updates dito. So, like if you want to dive deeper, if you want to fast track your success and mag-offer tayo ng mga courses, eto, as you can see, it will be divided into 3. The free courses, magkakaroon tayo ng mga crash courses o yung mga tawag dito, yung mga tipid na mga courses, no, na mga mura pero sulit. At meron din tayo, of course, mga premium courses na para sa premium journey ng freelancing mo. 'Di ba? Ayun. So, feel free to explore this if you want. Ayan, mga credibility natin, no? Nandito rin yung Facebook community. Yung kaninang sinasabi natin, yung mga courses, ayan, like pag nag-explore tayo ng courses. So, this is what will happen in the future, no? Yeah, again, nandito yung mga free courses, mga crash courses, ayan. So, this is to accelerate your journey para mas mapabilis. And if you want to have a more challenging yet fun, ayan, kasama yung ako as your mentor and other mentors, other experts, WAPRO experts, no? So, if you want to take your web design skills to the next level, yan, free, sa premium courses naman tayo. Ito yung actually yung talaga nagdala all through the years, no? Itong web design course natin. So, yung sa resources pala, ito isa sa pinaka talagang um, valuable na makukuha nyo. So, talaga gift-giving siya. So, you can explore a lot of resources here. Like, ito yan. Teka. Mga web design tools, design and asset libraries, software and plugins, yan. Mga pinaghirapan natin yan, right? For example, yan, web design tools, nandyan siya lahat. So, yeah, ito, nakatab siya na yan. Figma plugins, yan, i-click nyo na lang yan. Alright? So, nandyan siya lahat. Yan, itong mga domain. Alright? So, hopefully, feel free to visit this website namin. And so, meron na rin student login if you're an existing WAPRO student. Yan. So, may shortcut na rin siya. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this webinar or free web design course. And I hope na marami kang natutunan ng mga valuable and mas naging confident ka about starting or advancing your web design freelancing career. You just have to remember that every web designer started exactly where you are now. So yung susi dito sa success natin is yung persistence, continuous learning, and of course, connecting with the right people. So naniniwala naman ako sa potential and excited ako where your journey takes you. Kung may mga questions ka, so don't hesitate lang na magtanong or mag-reach out sa community natin. So nandito tayo to support your every step of the way. Again, sign off na tayo. Just have to keep pushing forward, keep creating, keep striving for excellence in your craft sa pagde-design. And I look forward to seeing you thrive in your web design freelancing journey. See you!